Chill. 30 even?
30 even, Steven.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Alex. I am here with a special guest. Jonathan's here.
I am here.
Jonathan is here. Jonathan's here as always. I am here with a special guest. And we're going to chop it up today. This is episode number 30, like we said. We're going to chop it up today just about just a friendly conversation about Mac rumors, things that are going on right now, and get your opinions on things. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name's Jacob Bates. I'm from here in Grove City, where Strictly Apple is located, where their home base is. I've known Landon for quite a while, and I was excited to have me come on.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
What do you do for a living, Jacob?
I'm actually a realtor here in the Columbus area.
Okay. And you are, do you have an Android phone or an Apple phone?
Apple.
Apple phone. Okay.
What Apple Watch you got on there?
The Ultra.
Okay.
From right there in the warehouse.
Right here.
Heck yeah, dude.
Ultra from right here.
Heck yeah.
Yesterday, we had another realtor who I'm sure you know of, Brian Mulvaney.
Yes.
Yes. And he is an Android user, so I brought him on.
How'd that go?
Very well. Brian and I have known each other we've been friends for over 31, 32 years. And so we deal with each other well. I think the beginning of the podcast started, Brian, you're somebody that I look up to. I've always looked up to, I admire, but I don't know why you choose to live the way you do as being an Android user. Let's talk about your ecosystem before we chop into those things. What Apple devices do you use on a daily basis?
Everything. Watch,
Okay.
phone, iPad, MacBook.
Dang.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
more than I'd use.
Well, it's different situations for different items.
That is true.
right?
He is a realtor.
Yeah.
What do you use your iPad for?
Walking land. Like a lot of times I like to pull up like property guides or property lines.
Okay.
And then when I walk land, people can see an
Sure.
estimate of where, like, if you're buying 65 acres,
Yeah.
right, it's close enough. Now, if you're buying a tenth of an acre, well, you're going to get from this wall to that wall. So I don't use it for that.
Right. I don't. If you asked me, you're like, if you were literally, and like I've done a lot of droning, as far for realtors, and plotting land. But if I was standing right here and you said, "Is this an acre of land or is this an acre?" I'd be like, "You got me, man. It's not a foot. I don't count bushels, so I don't know."
I'm out on that.
Right? Okay. So here's some crazy curious questions. Besides for work, what are your two top most used apps? Not social networking.
YouTube? Does
Okay.
that count?
That counts.
Yeah.
Not
that
for
counts.
work.
You have any games you play or like crazy
No.
weird apps?
No, I mean, just social media.
Just social media.
Even if it's not for work. So
Sure.
I'll go in and watch stuff. Like I read, but usually it's just watching stuff. I don't play games on my phone or on my laptop or anything.
I have.
What are you reading? Books or
a lot of just articles online.
articles? Okay.
Okay.
Very cool.
I have one game on my phone, but it's for like extreme cases, like if something is very very boring. It's like a solitaire game,
Okay.
and every once in a while I'll go back in there. I'm like, I gotta re-download it because I haven't played it forever. But I'm not a game player either. I watch YouTube. It's like my one big subscription is YouTube.
Premium.
Premium. Gotta go premium. And it all started, and we had talked about this one time, it all started because I hate having my phone on when I'm listening to YouTube. So in order to turn off
That's
the phone.
exactly why I bought it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to like listen to a podcast and not have to leave my screen on.
Right? Well, one day, actually, it was not too long ago, it was like, your YouTube premium features. I'm like, honestly, I didn't know I had other features. I just know that I could turn my phone off.
Have you ever looked at the statistics? Like you can see how much time you've watched.
That would be scary.
Don't do it.
Yeah. No, this past year, actually, so I finally put my 10-year-old over to a different account. I moved him over to his own because every time I got on there, like the last 5 videos you've watched are Thomas the Tank Engine and stuff like that. Well, then he got more into like sad, emotional music. And so I got my year-end review and it was like, you listen to 38% emotionally sad music. I was like, oh, maybe not me, but now I got to worry about my children. Anyway, long story short. So we're going to talk about some Mac rumors and to get your thoughts on some of these things, being an avid Apple user. Okay, so these are just some of the top ones. I know we've shouted out them before, but Mac Rumors. Shout out to Mac Rumors. They're amazing. I was addicted to that before I even could afford a Mac or an iPhone.
Same.
They're just the people who write for them too are incredible.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So let's talk about first one we can talk about is 18.3. I don't know. Did you update to 18.3? It came out Monday.
I haven't updated yet.
I was going to last night.
I'm doing it right now as we speak. I'm doing.
Okay, so
I
I was going to
didn't know it
last
dropped.
night just for the sake of doing it so we could look at features. But then I looked at the list of features and I usually wait a couple days. I'm a big beta guy. Like I'll do the betas, but I had heard one or two small 18.3. Just give it a hot minute, rumors.
Let it fix itself.
Let it fix itself. And I was just like, I can't do that right now. I'm too busy. So 18.3 changes with iOS.
I was about to read it if you weren't going to.
So notifications been summarized have italicized text now, so they stand out visually. Do you have some of summaries?
Yeah, I have 'em. They're nice at times.
They're not. Some of them I've screenshotted because it'll be like a big text thread, like in a moderation group that I'm in, and it's so all over the place, and people have used different language in the group. It's like this is about love, hate, war, and I'm like, what is going on? I don't think the summary is right. So I screenshot those, but now they'll be in italicized text so you can tell the difference,
Okay.
which is kind of cool. I mean, I don't see the difference either way. To be honest,
It's not going to change anything.
it's not
for
going to
me.
change it unless it was like bold, highlighted, and purple. I mean, it's not going to really change much for me. iOS 18.3 lets you easily manage settings for notification summaries from the lock screen, which I thought you could already do. I thought you were able to like swipe right and then you could hit settings. Maybe that's just when the phone's actually on. But now they're letting you do that from the lock screen. Okay. Visual intelligence upgrades with 18.3. All 4 iPhone 16 models are equipped with a camera control button that enables visual intelligence. What phone do you have?
15.
15?
15.
Yeah, I've got 15. For example, but now with visual intelligence, with only the 16s with the camera button, a new feature that can provide information about items or places in a person's surroundings. So, for example, Apple says users can click and hold the camera control to bring up the hours or ratings for a restaurant as they pass by.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's-
It could be useful, like especially if you're on vacation and you're like,
yeah,
man, I want some good seafood. Like, let's drive down, the beach, let's say, and
Just hold your
yeah,
phone
like
out.
okay, no,
Rating,
no.
rating,
Oh,
rating.
Yep, there, right there.
Right.
That's it.
If we don't get a 4.0, okay, we're going to the next one.
That's brilliant. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. It reminds me of, and I'll get your take on this as well. So, Apple Glass. Everybody's trying to get to the latest and greatest as far as wearable tech and glasses. So, Apple had released a video, I believe it was last year, with augmented reality baked into them, right? So, it's not just recording, it's not just listening now. So, they had released a video where you walk up to like a bookstore, you're on the street, you walk up to a bookstore, and literally as you look at it, you give it a second, and it says hours of operation, gives Google ratings and reviews, augmented reality, in front of you. That's what that reminds me of. So I'm wondering if they're trying to one step closer to that without it being actually visual.
That would be distracting. Like, I wear glasses.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could do that because I would be looking at everything and I just feel like everything would just keep popping up and my mind would be just racing with.
And how do you feel about Apple Vision Pro?
It's cool. I've played with Landon's.
Yeah, same.
I would never spend the money on it.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it can get to the point where it has everyday use, but not at that price point.
And not that bulky.
Yeah. I mean, it's heavy. It doesn't last very long. Like, you can't go through a 10-hour workday.
But
on it.
with that augmented field, like everything's, interviewed. Did you ever see Ready Player One?
No.
Okay. So in Ready Player One in the movie, as a side note, Ready Player One in the movie, they're talking about their field of view. So everything's controlled by everybody's gaming. Everybody in the whole world games. So in order to go into this world, they have gaming. Well, like the big CEO suites, they're talking about, well, we can control 85% of their field of view with ads. You know what I mean? Like pop-ups everywhere. And I just feel like that's what it's going to get to. Everything gets to that point. You have to make money, right? And you have to give big corporations opportunity to make that money, correct? So I feel like Apple Glass will turn into Advertisement USA.
It could.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a big difference from putting on like the Vision Pro,
Yeah.
right? Like I know I'm putting that on and wearing it. I'm not walking down the street with it compared to a pair of glasses. Like
It's true.
I need my glasses to drive.
Yeah. There was a thing at CES too. I don't know if you follow like new gadget techs, but CES just happened, and it was the biggest. It's got a camera. I forget who's making it. It was like Insta360, the company that owns them. It's got a HUD
Okay.
that pops up in front of you, but they're actually wearable, like you would be wearing glasses, but a HUD that pops up. And I just, like you said, imagine if you're driving and that pops up.
Yeah. Like ding,
Yeah, like, hey, your mom's calling. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
decline.
Yeah, decline, please. I don't always decline. Mom, I love you. I don't always decline your calls. Always. There's some new calculator app functions that are in there. Labeled. There was another one for 18.3 called Black Unity. It was Black Unity collection. There's a sport loop for the Apple Watch, as well as screens, which we can put on there. But if you can't see, so these came out for Black History Month. Kind of cool. So it's Apple specials. And that's about it. There's some bug fixes that go in there, but nothing big. All right, so let's talk about Mac rumors now that we're in there. iPhone 17 Air. Have you heard anything about that?
I saw a render of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it the one where all the cameras were straight in a line?
No. I saw a side shot of it. So it was just showing how thin it was.
Yep.
Which you probably have here. And I would be terrified. I would just snap it right in half.
You know, when I first got this phone, it feels like I'm going to snap it because it's not the normal, like, metal titanium. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And I think the Air, the ad I saw or the article I saw, I think it said it'd be like 50% thinner than current generation.
So device thickness rumors with the 17 Air, thinner than the iPhone 6. And I meant to bring an iPhone 6 in here. According to the information, Apple's all-new iPhone 17 model will be significantly thinner design with an aluminum chassis rather than titanium casing like Apple's Pro models. Rumors have hovered around 6 millimeters.
I mean, that's thin.
Yeah. At 5.5 millimeters, the iPhone 17 Air would be the thinnest phone to date, thinner than the 6.9 millimeters that the iPhone 6 came out in early 2014. It would be 30% thinner than the iPhone 16.
Whoa.
Dude, that's crazy. I didn't even read that whole piece. Do you use the Pro Max?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why do you choose to use the Pro Max?
The color. I like the color, the cameras, but like there's no good reason. I do like the cameras on it though.
So, as Landon likes to say, once you go Max, you never go back. When the first time that you got a Pro Max, have you gone back?
No.
Yeah.
No, I refuse to.
It's the size. Maybe I'm blind as a bat, but I like to see things like videos and stuff.
I feel like you just get used to it, the size of it in your hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't know why people even go to the Mini? You know what I'm talking about? I think I've seen one once, the iPhone Mini. You know
I couldn't tell you the last time I held
the
a
SE.
non-Max phone.
Yeah. It'd feel weird. It wouldn't even feel like an iPhone, honestly, to me. But why'd you choose to go with the Ultra, by the way?
Landon. I mean, it's not a very good answer for the show.
Did you have one before?
I had
Apple
a 8, I think an Apple Watch 8.
Okay.
And then he was like, hey, you want to get an Ultra? And I was like, well, that depends.
Yeah.
And, well, I walked out of here with an Ultra.
Well, Landon got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets all of us. Do you use Netflix on the iPad or iPhone?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I know.
I will. So here's another Mac rumor. Well, it's not a rumor now. It's actually true. So Netflix has released, and apparently you were already able to do it with Android devices, but now with an iPhone or iPad on Netflix, you can download full seasons with a click of a button.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So, like, tomorrow, I'm flying to Florida for a week. I will then download Netflix then, or probably YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But that's about the only time I ever use them is plane rides.
Yeah, same here. And I've got 2, 3. I can tell you, I've got 3 movies for because when I buy movies, I buy them through the Apple Store. Like I don't have Apple TV Plus, but I buy all my movies through Apple TV. That way they're on my phones, even though we're watching on the Roku TV, you know. Anyway, I've got 3 on my phone at all times just for plane rides or
Just to be safe.
just to be safe. Because sometimes you just don't have it.
Talking of which, do you actually use an Apple TV or do you use Roku?
I used to have an Apple TV, the old gen, and now it's Roku because the app is just on the TV.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, so all of my movies are through there. And I haven't figured this out. Maybe you can tell me this. Sometimes, like, I'll go into YouTube and it'll be like, your movies. And I'm like, wait a minute. My movies aren't on there. But somehow my YouTube is connected through Apple TV.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah,
Somebody,
I don't know.
if you know how my movies are on YouTube, you let us know.
So everything you buy from Apple shows up in your YouTube library?
Yeah.
Do you
Why?
subscribe to YouTube through your Apple account?
Yep.
Maybe.
That's has to be it. That has to be it.
That's
But
my
I
only
didn't-
guess.
But I didn't give that permission. You know what I mean?
They don't need your permission.
Yeah, they don't need.
They
they
have to
didn't
ask.
ask for my permission. Landon actually had sent me something just a little bit ago that I wanted to talk about, but I know nothing about. So you're going to have to look it up. Let's see. Let's look for Landon's way far down there. There he is. It was about Apple and Tesla, Starlink.
Yes.
I know nothing about this. Hey, Landon, come here. We're in the middle of this podcast. You sent me a link earlier. What's this about? Landon's now on the backboard. He's passing by.
Okay, yeah. So I saw where Apple and Tesla are going to be joining forces.
Oh my gosh.
Now, it sounds pretty epic. Now, I don't know exactly if that's going to happen, but
Do you think this happened at the inauguration? Wasn't everybody there? I think Tim
Yes.
Cook was there. Zuckerberg was there.
I think the new White House will be on Mars, but that's for a different subject for a different day. We saw Elon's dance in the background. But if we're talking tech, okay, so if we can use, and I think this has happened, I think Spectrum, I think AT&T, I think T-Mobile, they have a rude awakening coming because imagine if you could just use Starlink and you can get service everywhere. Everywhere.
So during the hurricane and storms in North Carolina, T-Mobile partnered with Starlink to give, like when you have SOS and
Yep.
satellite only,
Yeah.
they already partnered with them to
Well,
use it.
But we can do that now.
It's not as
But
good
as a
as
Yeah.
Starlink.
I tried it and it's like, just wait for your reception. I was like, wait, I thought it was
Yeah.
supposed to happen.
Right, and Apple does have that feature where you can try to find
Yeah.
and that came out, the 14 or something like that?
Yeah.
But I think that if they had, if Tesla and I guess Starlink would have a monthly plan where you can have their service, it's unlimited data, talk, text, and everything, but you can have that as your service plan, service provider for your phone, and you can get it everywhere. For instance, a couple months ago, we were on a cruise.
The
and you had to-
capability is already there.
well, yes, but you can have it genuinely anywhere, and it's instant, and it's like not skipping a beat. Like so a couple months ago, we were on a cruise. You have to pay $200 to have Wi-Fi while you're there. What if you don't have to pay the extra $200? I would pay an additional, say I pay $50 now for my phone. Would I pay additional $70 to be able to always have great reception in the middle of the woods, an underground bunker? Like I don't know the
So
guidelines on it, but
Royal Caribbean's going to lose out.
they use Starlink currently.
Oh,
You just have to pay for it.
right.
But if I already have it, I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's going to come of, but I did see that link. I thought that was a great podcast topic to talk about. And
We're talking about Mac rumors right now and things that are
there's
audit.
a lot of rumors going around about stuff.
Yep.
This year is going to bring a lot of stuff with Mac, with Apple, with the new potentially iPhones.
We were just talking about actually because we didn't get to talk about it with you. It's thinner than the iPhone 6. So I just read that.
The iPhone
17 Air.
Yes, I wish they would call it Slim, but
you don't
Why
like
do you
air?
think they go? Why do you think
there's
they call
just too
air?
much air, man. There's air,
There's-
air that. Like I forget.
He's
my own
anti-air.
And now when you're talking about, there's a 13-inch Air. Well, before that was a 13-inch MacBook Air.
Yeah.
Now you have to specify it's a 13-inch iPad Air.
Do you think Tesla would have anything to do with branding? Now I know Tim likes to keep that very secluded and but going in with Starlink, you know how they like to label things. right?
I mean, they would definitely say their name. It's Starlink, but I don't. The problem that I see is having. Why would they Tesla or is it Tesla? It's Starlink. It's not Tesla, is it? So why would Starlink
Elon
work with Apple? Why wouldn't he just offer why wouldn't he become a new service provider?
Yeah, that's true.
Contracts, money. I mean, Apple, look at the size of them, right? As a whole.
He doesn't have to pitch it already.
Yeah, it's already there.
So that makes me question then. You're right. That makes me question then. So why not go to AT&T? Why not go to Spectrum? Why not go to them and pitch in? So it would already be embedded in an iPhone?
Go straight to the source.
As far as Starlink's already embedded.
You pay one-time subscription.
Well, that might be a great idea as well, is like activate Starlink.
So now
automatic from when you purchase it, it shows up, you press a button, all your stuff's already transferred because your phone number is attached to your account at Apple. So right when you get the phone, you tap to touch on the two tops.
And maybe that's a new subscription with Apple then.
I could see that happening because Apple doesn't have to go out and create a new service provider company or whatever you would categorize that as. That's actually there's why
somebody smarter than us figured it out.
Yeah, the people that have billions figured this out like 10 years ago. They've just been working on it. There's a reason. Yeah.
I mean, you think about that though, then they would have to worry less. They still have to work with service providers, but they would have to worry less about another party in between the consumer and them.
And I think Apple and Starlink would go great together because then we could get that cellular Mac that I've been talking about for years. My big thing, Jacob, is I think there should be a cellular MacBook.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be that hard to do. You already do it with iPads. You do it with the
I
Apple.
genuinely think it's just a little tiny chip or a
you
component.
You can
Look
already
how
do
small
it.
this is.
You can already do it with a USB drive, like a hotspot.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the reason they don't do that is because would it take away from their iPad Pro sales, cellular iPad Pro sales?
Maybe the technicians aren't qualified enough
That's insane.
to mess up your MacBook at AT&T.
I don't know. And then they have to sell them there too.
Correct.
Which I guess you wouldn't have to sell them there. Or they
No.
could just ship them there directly from Apple and
But
it's
they would-
online.
But as many problems as they have, you would have to make it removable out of the Mac very easily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For
And then
them to fix it.
and then you also, you come into Macs can be blacklisted, unpaid, the whole 9 yards there. And right now, I'm pretty sure, and this is probably happening, where you can go to Apple, finance a MacBook. Quick tip if you need some cash. Go to Apple, finance a MacBook, and then sell it.
Yeah.
Now, because that financing is through you, it's not through the device. So on phones, it's through you, but it's also attached to the device. So if they did it with Macs,
Default, ruin your credit, but you got cash.
I mean, you got $600, man.
Imagine
it.
what you can do.
Yeah, it's crazy. You could also double up if you hit black.
Yeah.
You could like triple up if you hit green.
We
which
get
is
Olive
really
Garden
hard
all
to do.
week, every day of the week.
Insane. Yeah.
That's funny. So no, 17 Air, thinner than this. What does it say? Thinner than this would be 5.55 millimeters.
Extremely thin.
I don't like it. I just feel like
He feels like he's going to break his.
yeah, I'd feel like I would just right in half.
Well, that's just because you're so strong, Jacob.
That's it.
I
It's
asked him why he has an Ultra, and he goes, "Because Landon."
It was a quick pitch. Had a good deal.
Yeah.
It was within 30 seconds.
No,
honestly.
literally, we were sitting in his office one day, okay, and he's sitting there and he's like looking at my wrist. He goes, "What watch you got on there?" I was like, "Oh, it's either a 7 or an 8." He goes, "You want an Ultra?" I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "For this price and that watch, I can get you an Ultra."
He's like one of those 80s.
And it was a good deal. I hooked you
No,
up.
it was a
solid.
it was a very good
1980s
deal.
sticky watch salesman with a coat.
Yeah.
He just slips it on your
Open it
hand.
up.
He's like, "How does that feel on your hand already?" And you're like, "Oh man, I'll take it."
Yeah, it's just like okay, here
and it's
you
and
go.
and when you're talking to someone that always or already uses an Apple Watch, it was a pretty amateur sale. I'm not gonna lie.
I just did it to support the brand.
Oh man.
just bring it back to him. So yeah, Apple. So that's the next piece. Apple finally explains how to install new firmware on your AirPods. As of January 27th, 2025, Apple provides step-by-step instructions on how to force an update and troubleshoot if your AirPods won't update.
I've never felt the need to update my AirPods.
I don't know if my AirPods have ever updated.
I didn't even know they could update. If you're being honest, I didn't realize they had a software in there. I mean, I guess they would, but
It makes sense, but I figured all of the software
the
was in the
bug?
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's going to change? Is my battery life going to get better? No.
No. But I mean, things like talk about the new features, like the new hearing assistance features. The different types of muting, unmuting. Yeah.
And there's so many things that you can do with AirPods, and the only thing I do with them is listen to music.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different. Now I do like the transparency and the adaptive noise cancellation and stuff like that, but you can use them as hearing aids now. There's a and I don't even know all the different things to add to that, but you can use them as a lot of different things.
Yeah. A lot of times I just get alerts from my phone because my decibel level's too high now. So it's like you're listening at a very dangerous rate for too long. I'm like, all right, mute. Just keep
my
going.
Apple Watch tells me when things are high pitched.
Yeah.
But with AirPods, I think one thing that would help, I think they would sell a lot of. So the beats that go around the ear. For everybody watching, I'm making a circle around my ear by saying this. There you go. Yep, I ain't crazy. So the beats that go in the air and then they wrap around. They're good for working out. Sometimes people's ears will let your AirPods fall out. I think Apple should make something along that line.
I don't think so because they like the minimalist design.
I like the minimalist design too, but there's so many people that don't buy AirPods because they won't stay in their ears. I know.
People make different tips though.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
then you got to buy that. Yes, and you can get different tips when you buy AirPods, the thicker ones, if your ears are bigger. But I still hear people all the time be like, they still fall in my ear. They still fall in my ear. And it's a lot harder to keep tips. And they even make the attachments that you can put on there that wrap around your ear.
Yeah.
But then you have to take them off every time you charge. And it's not convenient.
Yeah.
It's a hassle.
So they're lazy and they don't clean their ears out enough to know that they can just use those. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I don't know if that has anything to do with it at all, actually.
Okay. I wasn't paying attention then.
No.
You know what I do?
It's okay.
I have been using a lot, and I don't think that you could use it because your hands are too big.
Toothbrush?
This is the second time we talked about a toothbrush.
Second time we've done toothbrush.
I brushed my teeth like 20 minutes ago. The AirPods, you can adjust the volume just by touching.
Yep, up and down.
You can do that currently, right?
Yeah. I don't think you can do that. Can you do that? I already have enough hard time. My fingers are really small.
No, I don't. I just tap on my thing. I have no idea. I always go loud as possible. I'm already on 10 all the
Full
time.
go
no
and
matter
noise
what.
canceling. Just
Yes,
can't hear anything.
Absolutely. It's like ready to roll.
I feel like there's so many features of Apple devices that I just don't even know about or
Hey,
use.
if
or
you're
care
ever
about.
curious,
True.
if you're
It's
ever
very
curious, you go to Strictly Apple's YouTube channel. Jonathan here will be on a how-to, and he'll teach you some tricks.
Yes. And they're about to start rolling out a lot more here soon.
Look at
Just look for the ginger in the middle of the page.
it. Look for a ginger.
It's going to be a how-to.
Look
We
for,
even put the background as orange. Okay, but Alex is ginger as well. And we don't make fun of gingers. We just love the gingers that we have. You're probably going to have to edit that out, but.
Good save.
you see my, I like to see my face on camera. I was like, oh.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I'm looking at Jonathan. He's trying not to cry. I'm all right. One more Mac rumor. Thanks for coming along there.
Yeah, no,
Landon.
I like the
Glad
little
you'd
pop
be here.
in.
I think our viewing rating would go up a lot more if we had your voice but not your face.
Oh, no.
So this works out perfect.
Absolutely. I'll just start calling in.
Yeah. Actually, if you'd sit in that chair backwards,
We're just going to do
just
a lot.
start calling
We're
it.
just gonna, no, what we're going to do is we're going to be on here and we're just going to get two very good-looking people and put them in the chairs. That's why we have Jacob on here today.
That's it.
We're testing out the good-looking side of things.
So on the Mac Rumors show, and we were talking about Mac Rumors, Samsung's 2025 challenge to Apple. This came out January 24th. The latest episode discusses Samsung's announcement of the Galaxy S25 lineup, which Brian had the S23. Yeah. He didn't know what he
Yeah,
had.
I don't think he could have even verified that. I mean,
Yeah. So they, I don't have the full details, but they put out some challenges for the 16 and the 17 coming out.
Who put out the challenges? Mac Rumors?
No. Samsung.
Put out the challenges for Apple?
Yeah.
So
We have
I
a little challenge
saw,
off.
I saw some of the specs for it and like some other content creators, tech people, in the space talking about it, and it seemed like people were very disappointed with the announcements.
With
Like
What? Whose announcements?
like Samsung's for that phone, like something with the S Pen, like the pen you can get with the phone isn't. It's Bluetooth now.
It's like black.
Or,
It's like a BlackBerry. It's got a little stylus pen.
People use those?
Yeah.
Have you ever used a
I
stylus on your phone?
I used a 3D printed one.
What's
the other day.
wrong with
Well,
our finger?
You have a large finger.
I guess that'll work. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I just saw on Twitter, right? People complaining after the event of something with the pen, and
You ever use your Apple Pencil on your phone?
never.
You can't.
You can't.
So I saw a guy. This is funny. I saw a guy who I follow but I never see his stuff anymore on Reels, and he was using his Apple Pencil on his phone. Magic wand. There's a way to get around it. I'm pretty sure he had to unlock something.
Jonathan, new video.
How to use a pencil on your phone.
Yeah. Why is that not possible? Why do you think that's not possible?
When is that practical?
No, I don't know when it's practical. I see people like that all the
Because I
time.
like to draw minutely on my phone.
The only thing that I can see that being practical is when you physically want to, I guess, whenever
somebody
you
write a signature.
Or signature, that's the first thing, but then mark up a photo. You know how sometimes you want to mark up a photo and circle something because somebody can't see what's on the photo, whether it's a Google map or something like that. You could circle it. But again, that stylus, I would lose that thing so quickly.
Yeah.
I guess it has a little slot to put it in, but let's put something else in there. Let's put like another gig or something.
We're very big. If we're not already sponsored by ChatGPT on this podcast, we should be. We talk about it almost every episode. Do you use ChatGPT? Do you use any AI open software?
A lot of ChatGPT.
Do you?
A lot.
Okay. Okay.
It's so nice because, like, in real estate, it's like, okay, well, this is kind of the format of this, post or description that I need,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, okay, well, here's the house breakdown. What's this going to spit back to me? Oh,
Yeah.
that's better than I can write it.
And now integration with Apple. It's
Copy, paste, email,
Copy.
send.
copy, paste, email, send. And it's only going to get crazier.
Oh.
And we had
everything's
talked about that in
getting
previous episodes. Why was it 2024? There was no real new technology.
crazy. I think they were getting ready for a combustion of
Starlink.
Yes. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they said, hold off, let's turn up here in 25.
Yeah, Elon's in the house. Everybody just hold on.
But today, Jacob's in the house. Thanks for being
But
here,
yes,
man.
Thanks
Jacob,
for having me. It was a pleasure.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will take your face over Landon. Actually, if you can learn to mouth what Landon says,
I have a
your
huge
face
mouth,
is a lot
so-
prettier than his.
We can work on it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
puppeteering. My name's Alex.
I'm Landon.
I'm Jacob.
Come in here. Hurry.
I'm John.
And Jonathan. All right. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining in. You can catch us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, anything, iHeartRadio, you name it, Podbean, we're there. We'll catch you guys soon. Take care.
Talk to you soon.
Yep.